Hello and welcome to Iron Vader 68. Today we will be starting the ranking series with the Star Wars series. These movies have made up such an amazing story and a beautiful universe. Before I start, I'm gonna have to put up a spoiler warning because I love Star Wars, and a spoiler could keep people from loving it as much as I do. I love almost all of them and they all have parts I extremely enjoy, but let's start with getting my least favorite by far out of the way. Coming in at number 11 and my least favorite Star Wars episode is the chronological first movie, The Phantom Menace. To be completely honest, I am bored by politics and taxation blockades. The beginning of the movie introduces non-impressive, very unintelligent battle droids. While I love the beginning of Palpatine's plot, it made me unimpressed by including space politics. While interesting, I do enjoy the more action-based part of Star Wars. Don't get me wrong, the last 30 minutes are beautiful, but I just have too many other problems with this movie. At number 10 is Solo. I actually love this movie, so don't go exploding in the comment section that it should have been higher. This goes to show my love for Star Wars. I love the fast-paced beginning on Corellia and the Coaxium heist. Dryden Voss is a cool character. I hope we may see more in the animated shows and I really want a sequel to see what happens to Kira and Maul. Unfortunately, I do have a problem with some parts of the movie. I think that the train scene is cool but a tad too long, and a lot of the characters, especially L3, are pretty annoying. I loved the answered questions too, a fun joyride in the Age of the Empire. My number 9 is Attack of the Clones. This movie is mainly following the love between Anakin and Padme, which I really just hate, and the reason why it is so low on the list. I love the action, the Battle of Geonosis is very entertaining, and Yoda vs Dooku is a sight to see. However, the dialogue kills me, especially on Naboo. I don't love the Geonosians, and I'm still confused on the Death Star plans, especially after Rogue One came out. I don't have strong feelings for this movie but the small amount of action is what puts it above the other two. This is certain to be hated on. My number 8 is The Last Jedi. We all know as Star Wars fans that this movie by far receives the most criticism. And I do agree that Canto-Bight is by far one of the most terrible Star Wars scenes, but you gotta look past that. In this movie, we get a chase scene the length of a movie that is suspenseful and full of cool visuals. We see the Force dyad between Rey and Ben Solo, which I thought was very cool, and I also thought Luke's redemption was really cool. His fight against all the AT-ATs. Oh my god. But what kept this movie down other than Canto-Bight was Luke's grumpiness, Snoke's weak character building, and the end with the weird broom kids. Number 7 is The Force Awakens. This was a ride for sure. I think one of my only major problems with it is that it was a little bit too much of an episode 4 reboot. I really like Finn, and I enjoy his defection. I think it is also fun that the final battle takes place on a doomed to implode Starkiller base. Kylo Ren is a very cool villain, and I think it is awesome he is driven by Darth Vader, my favorite fictional character of all time. Rey is, meh. I don't really like Rey, but it is great to see the old cast again. Chewie is as great as ever and Han Solo's death joined a list of Star Wars scenes that made me cry. Overall, this movie is a very fun way to begin the final trilogy of Star Wars. The first movie, A New Hope, takes my number 6 spot. This was revolutionary and, while not the most beautiful with visual effects, blew me away. I love the beginning. Darth Vader makes a heck of an appearance despite him not existing before. This movie has a great plot comparable to the knight in shining armor rescuing the princess from the dragon. The trench run is one of my favorite Star Wars scenes and I love how Han Solo comes back to save the day. I don't have a problem with this movie, I'm not joking. The dialogue is a little cheesy, but this movie excelled given the fact it was made with little money. A great way for George Lucas to introduce the world to Star Wars. The end to the saga, The Rise of Skywalker, comes in at the number 5 spot. This movie deserves no hate at all. I love the beginning on Mustafar and Exegol is now one of my favorite planets. I have no problem with Palpatine's return and I don't know why anyone does. It had an awesome ending. I could have done without the Rey and Ben kiss though, and there is really no point in this movie where I have a problem with what is going on. The ending has a lot going on though. I know they need to get to everybody but I can't tell if that one girl is Lando's daughter, that is a loophole, and other things I need not note. In general, I love this movie and am excited to watch it every time. A return to the Age of the Empire. Rogue One misses the podium by a thread and takes the number 4 spot. While I don't like Jyn Erso or many of the other characters, I love K-2SO and I'm okay with Cassian. I really like Chirrut. I think it is interesting to include a Force wielder that doesn't have a lightsaber. The Battle of Scarif is one of my favorite Star Wars battles. We got some new stormtroopers, and a Darth Vader hallway scene that completely blew me away. This movie ties into Rogue One perfectly and is a very fun movie to watch. It makes you want to never look away, and by far the most suspenseful Star Wars movie to date. This will be controversial for sure, but my third favorite Star Wars movie is The Rise of Darth Vader, Revenge of the Sith. Oh, well. The beginning immediately begins with a very fast-paced scene to rescue the Chancellor, which determines the fate of the rest of the movie. Order 66 is a tragic scene with very sad, good music. Speaking of which, this movie's music is crazy. Mustafar is a great place to have Anakin and Obi-Wan to fight each other. I also love the ending. It explains better why the Skywalker twins were hidden. My only problem with this movie is the continuation of the Anakin Padme romance and the politics. Other than that, easily one of my favorite movies ever and a beautiful end to the Clone Wars. My number 2 is also the first Star Wars movie I watched, Return of the Jedi. Not only is this one of my favorite Star Wars movies, it is one of my favorite movies. It starts in Jabba's palace, which is a weird place, I'll give you that, but it is very cool and fun to watch the rescue of Han Solo. Luke is not a favorite of mine, but I love him in this movie. Endor is a great planet too. The Ewoks are a fun species and the battles both in space and on the planet are fun to watch and cool. I'm always impressed by Palpatine's plan to defeat the rebellion, and I love the final duel. Vader's redemption is maybe my favorite Star Wars scene and it is always cool. Sure, the second Death Star was a bleak idea, but we all still enjoyed it and were frightened by it. The iconic end to the original trilogy earns the silver medal. And finally, my undisputed favorite Star Wars movie is The Empire Strikes Back. Where to start? It starts off slow, but I enjoy every second to follow. Hoth was a cool planet and the Battle of Hoth is my favorite Star Wars battle. Luke is told by Obi-Wan to go to Dagobah where we meet my favorite Jedi, Yoda. All of the training is pretty fun to watch and the cave scene is pretty interesting. The Millennium Falcon is my favorite Star Wars ship and I love it having to run away from the Empire. The trap at Cloud City is awesome and Han Solo frozen in carbonite is a huge cliffhanger to the next movie. We get a big dosage of Darth Vader, which I love, and also Boba Fett, a cool mysterious character. Luke vs Vader is still a little slow but I loved it when I was little and still love it now. Lando is a fun character too and he fits well into the story. Congratulations for being both my favorite Star Wars movie and my favorite movie ever. And that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this first episode in my review series. Thanks for watching.